You've written a hero, and your hero is perfect. They're kind, brave, and they always make the right call. And guess what? Your reader is bored to tears because, well, let's be honest. You haven't written a hero, you have written a saint for a world that craves a few sinners. The single biggest mistake writers make isn't creating heroes who are too flawed, it's creating heroes who have no room to become heroic in the first place. They start at the finish line with their arms raised in victory, and we never get to see the race that got them to where they are now. But what if the secret is to a hero that readers will bleed for, cry for, and cheer for is to start them off completely broken? Forget everything you think you might know about heroes. The most legendary protagonists in fiction don't start out strong. They start out weak. They start out cowardly. They might even start out selfish. Readers don't connect with perfection. They connect with the struggle for it. They connect with the journey. A character's victory only feels earned when we've seen them at their absolute worst, lowest, too. Because some people need to hit a low point in real life before they can turn things around. That's just the way it goes, isn't it? If your hero feels flat and lacks agency, it's because you've skipped the most important part of their story, the transformation. Today, I'm going to be helping you fix that. Help you turn your weak characters into a legend. Starting with number 1, the anatomy of a boring hero. So what really makes a hero boring? It's not a lack of cool powers or snappy one-liners. So whatever. It's a lack of internal conflict. A boring hero is static. They never change. When a character's behavior never surprises us, or more importantly, never costs them anything, the plot just feels staged and predictable. And readers will abandon these cardboard heroes because there's nothing real to invest in. Think about it. If a character who is already brave doesn't need to learn courage, a character who is already selfish never has to learn to battle their own selfishness. They're a finished product. The story just becomes a series of events that happen to them, not a journey they actively shape by becoming a better person than what they are meant to be, or at least what the story meant them to be. Their victory at the end feels hollow. Because, really, was it ever in doubt? You know that, don't you? They didn't have to grow to achieve it. They were already capable from page 1. This is the perfect hero problem. In an attempt to make our characters instantly likable, we strip them of the very things that make them human. Their flaws, their fears, and their past mistakes. A perfect character has no room to grow. They feel fake, and readers, especially modern ones, crave authenticity. They want to see the mess. They want to see the struggle. A protagonist who never fails, never doubts, and never has to make a truly gut-wrenching choice isn't a hero. They're a plot device. Plot devices are boring. The heart of your story is transformation. And if your character doesn't transform, your story then has no heart. The myth of the likable protagonist is number 2 for this section. Now I know the fear. A lot of writers worry that if they make a character weak or flawed at the beginning, the reader just won't like them. That right there, that's a myth, and it's crippling your writing. You get so stuck on making our heroes good people that we're terrified to make them less than perfect. Here's the secret. Readers don't necessarily need to like your protagonist from page 1. They need to be intrigued by them, like, wow, that's so weird, or something like that thing. Anyway, they need to understand them. Relatability doesn't come from being nice. It comes from having recognizable motives, vulnerabilities, and feelings. We've all felt fear, we've all had moments of doubt, and we've all made selfish choices. It's kind of like being human, because it's these flaws that forge the emotional connection. Think of it this way. A character's inner conflict is a battle between a lie they believe about the world and the truth they need to learn. The lie is their cage, and the story is their escape. For example, maybe a character believes the lie that, if I rely on anyone, I'll just get abandoned. This makes them act cold, distant, and untrustworthy. We may not like that standoffish behavior, but we're immediately fascinated because we don't know why they believe this. We want to see them proven wrong. If you give a compelling reason for your character's flaws, readers won't just understand, they'll empathize. They'll root for them to shed that lie, because they know it's the only way they'll become who they're meant to be. power of weakness, which is fuel for the fire. And this brings us to the core idea. In fiction, weakness is the liability. It's the narrative engine. It is the fuel for your story's fire. Without it, there's no character arc. A character arc is simply the journey they take from where they are at the beginning to where they are and who they become at the end and what they need to become in order to win the day. And the most powerful arc is always the journey from weakness to strength. To build this, you need to know what weakness actually is in a story. It's not about making your character a pathetic victim. Oh, what? That somebody just comes along and slaps them away like that. It's about giving them specific, actionable starting points for growth. Think of it as the 3 pillars of a compellingly weak character. Pillar 1 is the flaw. This is their central personality defect. Is it arrogance, cowardice, selfishness, crippling self-doubt? The key is that this flaw has to cause real negative consequences in their life. It has to actively mess things up for them. Second is the wound. This is the why. The wound is the past trauma that created the flaw. A character isn't a coward for no reason. Maybe they were abandoned as a child, creating a deep-seated terror of being left behind again. The wound makes the flaw understandable, even sympathetic. It's the ghost that haunts them. And third, the blind spot. This is the character's total inability to see their flaw or the truth of their situation. They might blame the world, their parents, the government, or bad luck for their problems, never realizing their own actions are the root causes. The entire point of your plot is to force them to confront this blind spot. When you combine these 3, a flaw born from a wound that the character is blind to, you get a character primed for an epic transformation. Their weakness isn't just a trait, it's a ticking time bomb at the center of their identity, just waiting for the plot to light the fuse. Blueprint for transformation, this section. So how do you fight that, or light that fuse? You don't just hope they change, you design a plot that forces their hand. The transformation from weak to strong follows a pretty reliable roadmap, one that echoes the hero's journey. So we have step 1, the ordinary world, the weak state. First, we meet the character in their natural habit. We have to show them living with their flaw, wound, and blind spot, showing them being passive, making excuses, or being boxed in by their weaknesses. If your hero is a coward, show them backing down from a simple conflict. If they're selfish, show them choosing their own comfort over helping someone else. Establish the status quo so we feel the impact and you shatter it. Step 2, the catalyst, or the disruption. Then something happens that shatters their world, which is the inciting incident. But here's the trick. This problem must specifically target their weaknesses. It has to hit them where they're most vulnerable. Don't worry, I didn't actually hit myself there on purpose or accidentally. A cowardly character is thrown into a situation that demands bravery. A selfish person is suddenly responsible for someone else's life. Their first instinct, driven by their flaw, will be to run. They'll resist the call, ignore it, or try to find the easy way out. Step 3 for this section, the ordeal. The point of no return. This is the crucible. The ordeal is where the character faces their greatest fear head on, in a moment that feels like life or death. It's the moment where the old way of doing things, their flaw, completely and utterly fails them. Backed into a corner, they had a choice. Cling to the lie and be destroyed, or let go and start to change. This is the instant the coward finally stands their ground. The moment the selfish character makes a sacrifice, they have to make a conscious decision to act against their own nature. That's where they stop being a victim of their circumstances and start taking control of their destiny. In other words, when they're making a conscious decision to act against their own nature, they can't really have the proverbial gun to their head. Because anybody would do just about anything to avoid getting the bullet. So anyway, step 4 for this part of here of the blueprint for transformation is as follows. The return. They become into the hero state. Having survived the ordeal and changed from within, The character heads into the climax as a new person. They aren't perfect yet, but the core shift has happened. They now have the courage or clarity they lacked before. In the final act, they must be proactive, using their newfound strength to solve the problem. The final victory isn't just about beating the bad guy, it's ultimate proof that their internal transformation is real and complete. So, if this is all clicking for you and you're ready to stop writing the flat, forgettable characters, heroes too, and do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. I go deep into storytelling every single week, and drop a comment below with a hero you love who starts out weak and becomes strong. I'd love to hear your favorite examples, and let me know what subject matter you would like me to cover in a future video, and I will do my best to do it. Right? And also remember, for this part, for transformation, we need to show and don't tell the change. So understanding the theory is one thing, actually writing it is another. You can't just tell the reader, and now he was brave. You have to show us the transformation through clear, concrete actions. First, use progressive hacks of heroism. Change doesn't really happen all at once. All of a sudden, dark hair, and now I've got, well, whatever hair, blue and red. That happens a few minutes of dye if I were to do that. But each heroic choice should be a little bigger and a little harder than the last. A character who starts by stealing food might, a few chapters later, share a tiny piece of it. By the end of the book, they're giving their last ration to save a stranger because they were almost at death's door. Their gradual climb makes the final hero act feel earned. They didn't just, I'm a hero, like they win a lottery or something. Second, show the consequences of their flaws. Early in the story, make their weakness hurt them. Let their cowardice get a friend captured. Let their arrogance cost them a powerful ally. When you penalize the flawed, you create powerful motivation to change. The pain of staying the same must be greater than the fear of becoming someone new. Third, lean into internal conflict. Your character's inner monologue is your best friend here. Show us the war raging in their head. Between the old self and the emerging hero, let them take one brave step forward only to be flooded with doubt and regret. This push and pull is what makes a character feel powerfully real. We see them actively fighting their own worst instincts. Finally, the character has to save themselves. Mentors can guide them, and friends can support them. But the final choice and the final action must belong to the protagonist alone. The climax is their test, and they have to be the one to pass it. They must face the core problem and win the day using the very strength they forged through their struggle. Their success is the final, undeniable proof of their arc. In conclusion, a hero isn't someone born perfect. A hero is someone who, when staring their own failures in the face, choose to become someone better. They are forged in the fires of conflict, both external and internal. By sharing your protagonist in a state of weakness, by giving them flaws to overcome, wounds to heal, and truths to discover, you give your readers a journey worth taking. You create a character whose struggles feel like our struggles, and you choose and whose victories feel like our own. We feel like we're doing the thing with them in a way, in some ways. So stop writing the boring heroes. Break them, challenge them, and push them to their absolute limit. Because it's only when they are broken that they can be made into something truly heroic. The greatest heroes aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who learn to get back up. Remember, there's the thing, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up. Or fall down 7, get back 8. Or however else you want to say it. But anyway, I hope you liked the video and it helps you with your own writing. If not, keep that a secret, eh? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let me know what you'd like me to cover in future videos. Have a great day and a great week. I'll see you in 7 days. So long there.